If you were born between 1965 and 1980, I need you to sit down for this one. Because right now, the generation with the highest salaries, the most work experience, and the least amount of time left to fix it is walking straight into the biggest retirement shortfall in American history. And most of them don't even know it yet. My name is David, and I spend way too much time thinking about money and why entire generations get financially blindsided by problems that we're building for decades. If you're Gen X or you love someone who is, stick around because this number is going to hit different. Here's the number. Gen X believes they'll need about $1.12 million to retire comfortably. What do they actually expect to have saved? Around $712,000. That's a gap of over $400,000. Not a rounding error, not something you close with a lucky year in the market, a $400,000 hole, and the clock is running out faster than any generation before them. So how did this happen to the generation that's supposedly in its prime earning years? Here's the part nobody talks about. Gen X got caught in the middle of a system that changed under their feet. The generation before them had pensions, guaranteed income for life, no investing required. Gen X walked into the workforce right as companies quietly swapped pensions for 401ks and dumped the entire responsibility of retirement planning onto individual employees who were never taught how to do it. No auto-enroll, no auto-escalate, just a form in a filing cabinet that most people didn't touch until their 30s. And that's the second problem. On average, Gen X didn't start saving for retirement until age 32. That's 4 years later than millennials and a full decade later than Gen Z. In the world of compound interest, 10 years isn't a small gap. 10 years can be the difference between retiring comfortably and working until you physically can't anymore. But it gets worse. Gen X is what people call the sandwich generation. While they were supposed to be maxing out retirement accounts, they were also raising kids and taking care of aging parents at the same time. Two financial obligations stacked on top of each other, eating the exact income that should have been compounding for 30 years. Here's a number that should terrify you if you're in this generation. Only 29% of Gen X has saved 6 times their salary by age 50. Only 19% have hit 8 times their salary by 60. Those aren't arbitrary targets. That's the actual benchmark most financial planners use to know if you're on pace. That means roughly 4 out of 5 people in this generation are behind the pace they need to retire the way they picture it. Now, here's where most people freeze up. They see a number like $400,000 and they think, that's impossible. I'll never close that gap, so why bother? That reaction is exactly what keeps the gap from closing. Panic isn't a strategy. Math is. If you're 50 years old right now, here's something most people don't know. The IRS lets you make catch-up contributions specifically because they know this generation got a late start. At 50 and older, you can add an extra $8,000 into your 401k on top of the normal limit. And once you hit 60, that catch-up jumps to over $11,000. That's not a small bonus. Contributing an extra $8,000 a year for just 10 years, growing at 8%, adds over $125,000 to your retirement on its own. That alone puts a real dent in a $400,000 gap. Here's a second lever almost nobody pulls. Delaying Social Security from 62 to 67 or even 70 permanently increases your monthly benefit by as much as 8% per year you wait. For someone with a $400,000 shortfall, that increase alone can functionally replace tens of thousands of dollars of savings you don't have to generate yourself. And the third lever is the one nobody wants to hear. Working 2 extra years doesn't just mean 2 more years of saving. It means 2 fewer years of withdrawing. That single shift can add hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement security just from moving the finish line slightly. Here's what I need you to understand. This gap isn't a personal failure. It's the predictable result of an entire generation being handed a system nobody explained to them. But knowing that doesn't fix it. Only action does. If you're 50 years old right now, here's something most people don't know. Log into your 401k today, not next month, today. Because the single biggest risk right now isn't the $400,000 gap, it's pretending it doesn't exist for 5 more years while the clock keeps running. If this helped you understand where you actually stand, subscribe because we're breaking down exactly what to do next.